All right, in this video, let's talk about how you present an addendum. And let's start it off by addressing what an addendum even is. An addendum is a product or service that is added on to the vehicle purchase that adds value for a customer. Now, you know how many salespeople there are? Just imagine that are at dealerships right now. And if you ask them, what is the definition of addendum? They couldn't tell you. They have no idea. It's kind of like when you're raising children and if a person curses a lot or uses certain language around the child, as the child begins to speak, they'll just use the language, not because they understand what it means, but it must be okay. It's the most commonly used language around them, and they feel like that's how you communicate. That's what happens at dealerships a lot. New person comes in, they hear everybody throwing around this terminology. They really don't know what it means, but they start using it too. And that is a tremendous detriment, because I want you to think about this. If a sales associate who's presenting an addendum doesn't fully understand what it is, how can we possibly expect a customer to understand what it is? And many times when people are not comfortable moving forward, when the vehicle's there, it's in the price point, but yet they don't move forward, many times it's because they just don't understand. So when it comes to addendums, the first thing we have to do is change how they're viewed. So many salespeople see the purchase price and then they see that addendum, which always has to be displayed as far as in the column. Legally, it has to be disclosed to the customer that there's an add-on. So we know that. But when a sales rep sees an addendum, and let's say it's $1,200 or $1,800, let's go as high as $3,200 for an addendum. They say, oh my God, how am I going to get this sale? They want me to do this and put this extra blah, blah, blah on it. Well, it is what it is. So as opposed to bitching and moaning about it, the best thing that we can do is figure out a way that that we ourselves can find value in it. That way, when we present it to our guests, we can genuinely present it with belief that this adds value. It's very hard to genuinely present something that you don't even believe in. So let's talk about addendums. One of the more popular addendums that dealerships are using are paint protection. And that could be 3M Scotch Guard, that could be Expel, or that could be G-Tech, whichever one your store uses, it doesn't matter. So paint protection. Now, let's say the paint protection is $1,600. Let's say it's $3,000. Okay, let's say the paint protection is an additional $3,000. And the sales rep says, oh my God. And now, when is the best time for us to be able to discuss this? Well, first, let's talk about what the benefits of paint protection are, in case you don't know. Okay, what the paint protection does, when your guest goes to resell or trade in that vehicle in 3 to 5 years, do you think they get more money or less money if the paint job on the vehicle looks showroom new? Because that's what the paint protection does. It helps avoid any rust spots, any type of sunspots, any type of road nicks, any type of scratches. Paint protection actually can heal a scratch or a nick over time with the protective film that's over it. It'll help, eliminate sunspots from the UV rays, which dull out the paint on the vehicle. If somebody's in Walmart and somebody lets their car go and it puts a little scratch, a nick, or a dent on it, guess what? Your customer does not have to come out of pocket to pay for that. They're covered with that paint protection. And you might say, well, Brian, what's the real value of that? Do you know that the average cost to fix a minor scratch or a nick on a vehicle is a minimum of $150? And in order for a person to get their vehicle, a paint job on the vehicle, where they want to have it looking nice, is up to as high as $4,500. And that's not even including if they want it to be showroom quality, it can be higher than that. And so your guest for the next 48 months or 60 months or 70, whatever, or 36 months, whatever the terms are of the protection that your dealership is offering, the value is this. For that small monthly investment that they make, they have a savings of as high as, $4,500, $6,000, whatever the cost is for their particular vehicle to receive a showroom new style paint job on the vehicle. Or for every little scratch and nick and dent, they're going to come out of pocket a minimum of $150. Depending on how deep it is or how wide it is, it can be even more than that. And so this paint protection saves your guests money, helps them maintain the value of their vehicle, making it easier for them to be able to resell it or to trade it back in. So let's get into how you present that and when you present that. When you're doing the walk around is the first time that you mentioned that the vehicle comes with paint protection. And you might want to touch on a couple of things. Protect your vehicle from UV rays. The protection is all over the panels of the vehicle, even on the side mirrors. Any type of sap or sunspots, You go into that. So now you present it, you do your demo drive, you come back, you get the service tour, and now it's time to present numbers. So first you present the options where they choose which monthly payment and down payment is the most comfortable for them in the terms. Once you submit that back to your managers, they're going to give you the actual worksheet, the actual buyer sheet for you to go over with this customer. And as you know, it has line items broken down on it. And please believe that addendum is going to be, that paint protection is a line item on it. And do you know the concerns that customers bring up during that type of interaction isn't what typically blows a deal. It's the ones that they don't bring up and that they don't understand and that they never say that can cost you the deal. So knowing, and if all you got to do is research the internet, I put in how customers feel about addendums. There was over 312 million different hits on Google for stuff about how customers feel about addendums. They think it's a ripoff. They think it's a scam. They think it's just a dealership's way of making extra money. And so it's up to you. It's up to us to present it in a way that they see the value. So now when you go back and when you're going through those line items and you hit that one, you say right here, you remember earlier when I informed you that with this vehicle, you get this 3M Scotch Guard paint protection. Now let me explain to you the benefit for you. One of the really great things that the next 3 to 5 years, whatever their term is, in the next 48 months or the next 60 months or the next, whatever it is, when you go to trade in this vehicle or when you go to sell this vehicle, you're going to want the highest value possible for it. And let me explain how so many people lose where you'll get a chance to win. If you're at Walmart, somebody lets that cart go and they make a mistake and they scratch your vehicle, as opposed to you coming out of pocket, you call, you text, you email me, let me know what's going on. We're going to get that taken care of. You keep that money in your pocket. Somebody without it is either going to have to pay or take that decrease in value. With the sun beaming down on the vehicle, after a few years when that sun keeps beaming on it and that paint starts to fade, as opposed to looking like a person with no protection where it's faded, it's dulled out, and it really decreases the value of your vehicle even more, your vehicle will stay looking showroom new the entire time. In the event that you get any sap from a tree that gets on your paint, you get any type of nicks or scratch from any type of road issues, rock kickbacks, luckily for you, you're protected. And I'll tell you, a minimum paint job today just for a scratch or a dent is $150. And for a paint job on your vehicle could be as high as $4,500, if not more, if you want it looking showroom new. So luckily for you, for the next 3 years or 30, whatever type of mileage, you have our 3M Scotch Guard paint protection. And you go on like that. But you have to present it with value. Now, there may be other particulars that's in yours. There's so many. I didn't want to dig too deep as far as in the details on that. But I wanted to give you just a 30,000-foot elevated view of how you should be presenting that line item. We know that that is something in their mind they think is a scam. We know that they don't believe that there's value there. And we have to be the ones to present that value. They're not going to do it just because you say paint protection. What does that mean? They may think that means it comes with a plastic cover to cover the vehicle up, and it's not. It's so much more in depth than that. So I highly encourage you, whatever addendum your dealership offers, as opposed to looking at them as a cost, it's really a savings. But you have to dig into it, learn it, read it, and match up and see. Look at what the average paint job costs for a scratch or a dent. Look at what it costs to get a whole vehicle painted. And then even if they wanted to get a showroom new, it's just like warranties and coverages. How much would it be if a person had to pay to get their engine repaired or replaced out of pocket, their transmission, their drivetrain? And so these coverages, these protections actually add value for a very small minimum monthly investment. They get a long-term potential savings, if not increase in value, just by being able to maintain the showroom new look and the maintenance of the vehicle at as high a level as they possibly can. And if you're an owner of a dealership, management of a dealership, if you feel your team would benefit from these type of word tracks, understanding the psychology of selling much better, I highly encourage you and I invite you, shoot me a message and let's have a quick conversation. It's completely free. It only take us, a few minutes for me to discover what's going on and to see how I can help, if I even can. But we won't know unless we give it a shot. So I encourage you to shoot me a message. If you are interested, put interested in the comments. But if you want to stay more private and personal, shoot me a message. Other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell. Hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you at the dealership.